I'm back. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the Grand Poobah. Yes, I am the founder and editor-in-chief of The Gaming Gang. So welcome aboard. I am back from my fall break. Tonight is Monday, October 12th, 2020. This is episode 553 of The Daily Dope. So if this is your first time joining me, let me point out this is a very, very casual show. Just hanging out, talking about tabletop gaming for the most part. So we talk about board games, role-playing games, card games, miniatures games. If you're playing it on your tabletop, we are probably talking about it here. Every once in a while, we'll talk a little PC gaming as well as pop culture. But for the most part, it's pretty much all tabletop gaming. Of course, do want to mention, if you like this video, don't forget, give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that notification bell because it will not only let you know when the Daily Dope streams live right here on YouTube, but it'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my recent review of Napoleon Returns 1815, which is from Worthington Publishing. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Also, want to mention, chat's available. This is a live stream on YouTube, so that means there's chat. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay, but I do my best to pay attention to chat. So if you want to say howdy, or maybe you got a question or a comment, by all means, please chime in. I'll do my best to respond. Sometimes chat flies by pretty quick, so I do my best. So I do see we've got Flaming Huron and Cameron F. are in chat already tonight. Good deal. Pretty cool. So yes, I'm back. So I had a little more than a week off. I mean, I had last Monday through Thursday off, so not too shabby. I didn't do too much exciting. Did get some gaming in, so that was very cool. Did a lot of reading because I have loads and loads of role-playing game releases I need to get reviews out there for. And I did release some videos. So you may have noticed that Curse of Strahd Revamped had arrived, and I did an unboxing and first look video. Let's get rid of some of that glare. So I actually did that video the day it showed up. So I will have a review probably later on this week. It's not going to be a very long review, simply because Curse of Strahd, I already reviewed the adventure. There are some very minor changes, mainly to how the gypsies are treated, as well as there's a disabled NPC. So they changed that a little bit. But outside of that, not much has changed. And it is $100. It's $99.99. So I will give you a hint. It is not going to be a positive review. Well, it's okay. So it's not going to be, I'm not going to say it's terrible. I'm not going to say necessarily don't buy it, but don't buy it. Just go buy the original hardcover book and just, download the errata and you're fine. That's how I kind of am looking at it. Also, as I mentioned, I reviewed Napoleon Returns 1815. We really enjoyed this quite a bit. And I also did a first look Kickstarter preview for the game I am going to talk about first up in the news, because currently up for Kickstarter funding for Greenfeet Games is Unforgiven, the Lincoln Assassination Trial. I've got the dope. Unforgiven, the Lincoln Assassination Trial is a two-player card and dice development game about passion and justice that revisits the 1865 trial of Mary Surratt, one of 8 put on trial for conspiring to assassinate President Abraham Lincoln and other members of his cabinet. You, as a prosecution or defense, must convince a 9-panel jury that she's either innocent or guilty. Will Surratt remain unforgiven, or will you alter the outcome of the trial of the century? Well, the actual trial lasted from May 9th to June 28th, 1865. A game of Unforgiven will only take you about 25 minutes to play and 10 minutes to learn. There is a 2-minute, it's a little more than 2 minutes, Kickstarter video for Unforgiven. So let's take a peek.
A 150 years ago, a country made war with each other, ripped into two sides. Brother fought against brother in the bloodiest conflict of America's history. From the battlefields to the home front, the cost of America's Civil War was steep, its lessons eternal. On this evening, April 14th, 1865, John Wilkes Booth, a Southern sympathizer, assassinates the nation's greatest president, Abraham Lincoln, at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C., his service to the nation ending in an untimely fashion. That's where you come in, as you find yourself in the courtroom of the alleged Lincoln assassins, ready for the trial of the century. Unforgiven, the Lincoln assassination trial is a tense legal duel, revisiting the 1865 trial of Mary Surratt, one of the 8 alleged conspirators in the assassination of President Abraham Lincoln. As either the prosecution or the defense, your role is to convince the 9-member military jury that Mary Surratt is innocent or guilty. In this card and dice development game, players will draft cards and dice which will help straighten their case with the jurors and recruit them to their side, ultimately finding overwhelming evidence for or against the accused. Images of this timeless conflict captured in black and white will now come to life fully restored in color for the first time, as this era comes alive in a way never before possible. In one of the most high-profile trials in United States history, will Mary Surratt face again the hangman's noose of American justice, or can you stop the trap door from falling?
Unforgiven is for 2 players, ages 10 and up, plays in around 25 minutes. Gotta be honest, if you go through the entire trial phase, all 3 phases, it does run a little more than 25 minutes, but not too much longer. This project is well beyond the 200% funded level. You can reserve a copy of the game for a $29 pledge. Plus, if you live in the U.S., $11 shipping through October 31st. Expected delivery is next April. As I mentioned, I did a Kickstarter preview video for this, kind of show how to play, show off some of the components. Of course, the copy I had was just simply a playtest copy, which you're seeing the components right there. But really, really enjoyed this a lot. Now, granted, it's a preview, so the way I do my Kickstarter previews is I don't do reviews because it's not the finished product. I know a lot of outlets out there do. I don't. So I did not give this a review score, but I can tell you I really enjoyed it. The rest of the gang really enjoyed it. I have not had an opportunity to play it with Elliot Miller, my best friend, because I had to send the playtest off to the next reviewer. But I did tell him to check out the video, and he may want to back this Kickstarter too. So my good pal, Scott Weigel, has arrived in chat. Good to see you, Scott. Do you see there was some discussion about the Curse of Strahd revamped box? I gotta be honest. I mean, the box is cool and all, but it's a lot of empty space. There's a lot of air in that box. If you haven't seen it, check out my unboxing video, and you'll even hear, because I mean, I take the shrink off the box and dive in. You even hear it in my voice where I'm kind of like really surprised that that's all that comes in this box for 100 bones. So, and as Flaming Heron pointed out, in Australia, that'd be about 130 bones. Moon right along. Mystery fans, take note as November brings Death at the Dive Bar from Hunt a Killer. Here's the dope. Become a detective. There's been a murder at the local dive bar. I didn't have anything to do with it, I swear. There was a mysterious masked figure. There's a small town full of suspects. When owner Nick Webster falls from a cliff behind his roadside tavern, his death is ruled an accident. But one of his employees suspects foul play, and she needs your help to prove it. Challenge yourself by channeling your inner detective to investigate the murder at the Old Scratch Tavern. Uncover the motives of each suspect through ciphers, clues, and puzzles that progress the story to its thrilling conclusion. There's realistic evidence and documents that guide players through a challenging and immersive experience with tons of twists and turns. From the makers of Hunt a Killer, the world's #1 murder mystery subscription, they've shipped over 2 million boxes to murder mystery fans all over the world, and they've taken all of their expertise and created an immersive investigation that can be played in one sitting. It's an authentic and immersive investigation. You'll feel like you're solving a real-life murder mystery. Decode ciphers, piece together clues, consider all the evidence, and solve the crime. It's like an escape room delivered right to your door. Great option for date night, game night, teaming up with friends and family, or just playing on your own. Death at the Dive Bar is for 1 to 5 players, ages 14 and up. Plays in around 45 minutes to an hour, and it will carry an MSRP of $29.99 when it arrives in November. This does look very cool. This does look really interesting. First of all, I have to laugh because the owner of the dive bar is named Nick Webster, and the tavern is called the Old Scratch Tavern. Get it? So it's kind of like the devil and Daniel Webster, right? Except it's Nick Webster, not Daniel. Although maybe you find out during the investigation his real name's Daniel. So this does look kind of cool. One thing, on the other hand, I do not know this for a fact. I don't know if the 45 minutes to an hour playtime is correct, because obviously enough, it looks like this is you play this once and you're done. So I don't know. $30 for an hour of gameplay, I don't know, that's not going to pass muster. Now, of course, we've talked about some of the Cosmos games, some of their kind of escape room games before, and they run about $20 for many of them. Some of the bigger ones do run $30, but there's 4 to 8 hours of gameplay in those. I would hope that the information that I have is wrong. I really do. I really hope it does play in a longer playtime than just 45 minutes to an hour. Also, do want to apologize that for most of my news pieces today, I don't have a lot of images. I searched and searched and searched and did not find any. So sorry that you're going to kind of stare at just one image for the next 3 news pieces. So arriving next week, talking about kind of escape room games and mystery games. Next week, we'll bring Escape Tales, Children of Wormwoods from Board and Dice. I've got the dope. Your name is Gilbert, and you have spent your whole life in a small town, its walls surrounding by an unsettling, aggressive, and dark wilderness. The woods outside the city walls are home to worm vines, hybrids of plants and animals fused into a deadly, abomination by a long-forgotten, blasphemous sorcery. The town is safe, for the time being. However, you find little joy here, as you are no more than a drifter, a man with no family, no home, and no place in the world. All you have is what happiness you share with Sevilla, the only person in this misty town that sees you as more than yet another homeless wretch. Yet powers you know little about plot to claim the smallest measure of comfort, which destiny has not yet taken away from you. For what lies beyond the town walls calls upon you and tugs at the strings of your fate in ways both subtle and irresistible. The time of grueling trials draws near. Be ready. Escape Tales, Children of the Wormwoods, features the dark and twisting story of a young man whose fate is beset by both the most mysterious of powers and by the tyranny of evil men. Prepare for a gripping story filled with plot twists and numerous surprises, astonishing exploration, and riveting puzzles. Faced with a deeply personal choice, which will influence the tale, I should say personal choices, plural, take a step into a grim fantasy world where little is what it seems at first. So what does this new game bring to the line? There's more cards with even more riddles, a character progression system based on your choices, an original dark fantasy setting previously unexplored in the series, a non-linear and complex narrative making your path unique, new category of cards, useful items that will help you on your journey into darkness. Escape Tales, Children of Wormwoods, is for 1 to 4 players, ages 16 and up, plays in over 450 minutes, and will carry an MSRP of $35 when it arrives next week. So the previous news piece we were talking about, where it said gameplay for Death at the Dive Bar, 45 minutes to an hour, this is telling us that it plays in over 450 minutes. And I double-checked a couple of places, not just distributors, but also from Board and Dice, which I believe might be out of Poland. And they are also saying that it's like I think it said something like 450 minutes to 560 minutes. So this seems like there's a lot. There's a lot going on. So pretty wild. So a Grade A is in chat. Good to see you, Grade A. Talking about Q Workshop has a dice advent calendar this year. I know, I saw that. Looks like it could be interesting. So Grade A is asking, is this part of the Escape series? It is part of the Escape Tales series from Board and Dice. It is not a series I'm familiar with. I have heard of Board and Dice, but I don't really know anything about their releases. I wish there was more to share. Once again, all I have is a cover. I've got the cover art, and that is it. Stupid me, I should have thought of it. This is like the third in the series. I should have taken a peek to see if there were any other images for their previous releases. Maybe would have had a little bit of a better idea. So Cameron mentions that's a pretty specific duration there. So 450 minutes, over 450 minutes, not straight up 450 minutes. All right, let's talk about a little bit of RPG news, because there is a revised edition of the first Hungarian D20 Society mini adventure collection, Trail of the Sea Demon. It's now available in PDF. Here's the dope. The temple has stood in an abandoned plaza since time immemorial. It is part of the city, but not any known street or alleyway leads to it. Only those who wait for the appointed time can embark on a pilgrimage of shadows and dreams to walk new ways through the silent and dark city. It is said that only a select few know the way, except for the fanatical priests who worship the destructive powers of the sea. Those who have sought the sea demon's advice seek it rarely, but those who seek its riches have never returned to tell the tale. But now the city's past may grant a key to solve an occult mystery. Trail of the Sea Demon is a collection of 3 short adventures concerning the way to the sea demon's sinister temple, the secrets and perils that await therein, and what may follow afterwards. Trail of the Sea Demon is a 32-page collection of 3 loosely connected weird fantasy scenarios for 3rd to 5th level OSR characters. These mini-adventures revolve around a secretive mystery religion and the hidden paths which lead to it in a fantastic labyrinthian city. They can be inserted into any gloomy fantasy metropolis and may be smoothly inserted into any ongoing campaign. The 3 scenarios are the House of Rogat Damascene. The mysterious sculptor and magician is out of town and his house lies unguarded. Right there. I know exactly what's going on in this story. What treasures and dangers are to be found in the Beggar's Quarter? And where does it all lead to? This contains 37 keyed areas. Then there's the Temple of the Sea Demon. Hidden somewhere in the city, a strange temple awaits. Who will outwit the secretive priests and magical guardians that claim its treasures? And who will risk the wrath of the sea demon doing so? This will contain 19 keyed areas. And finally, there's Shadow Court, a true Bazaar of the Bizarre. I love when we always get the Bazaar of the Bizarre from companies, and it's like, as soon as I say that, first thing I think of is Fritz Leiber's Fafhrd and Grey Mouser story, The Bazaar of the Bizarre. A true Bazaar of the Bizarre where shadowy merchants mingle with those looking for exotic wares, and deceit lurks around every corner. Yet why does nobody here speak of the abandoned garden shrine and its nightly visitors? 20 keyed areas and these strange merchants of Shadow Court are revealed in this module. Originally published in Fight On magazine, these adventures have been revised and expanded based on further play and presented in an accessible, user-friendly format in the current edition, with new illustrations by Peter Mullen, whose cover we're taking a look at right now, Graphite Prime, Jerry Butcher, and Stefan Poeg. The 32-page PDF is available at Drive-Thru-RPG for $6. So, Trail of the Sea Demon is written by Gabriel Lux. If you have any interest in old school role-playing games, if you play any of them, you know that name. If you are interested in playing them, you need to know this name, because Gabriel Lux, just about everything he comes out with is excellent. And I'm going to step out here for a sec, because everything that Gabriel Lux that I've ever read, and I have not read everything that he's presented, but I have read some of the Fight On magazines. I have read Echoes from Formal Hut, forget how it's pronounced. But it is excellent, and it is very, very easy to utilize at the table. That's one of the most important aspects of role-playing games that the big companies just don't understand anymore. They'll sit there and we'll get this, cool adventure, and it's got tons and tons of information in there, and it's just an information overload that is not useful at the table. You can't sit there and use an adventure book these days from the big companies and just use it at the table. You got to memorize tons of stuff, keep all these things kind of separated. Not with Mr. Lux's content, not at all. So by all means, I wanted to share this because it's a very reasonable priced PDF. Granted, it's 32 pages, it's $6. Yes, it's a little higher page count cost. Because you know me, I always think about 10 to 15 cents a page for a PDF is about right. But I'm going to tell you right now, this will be worth it because it'll be jam-packed with gameable material. So there you go. So a Great Ace says, cheat sheets? Yeah, I have a 3-ring binder of cheat sheets for Storm King's Thunder. Jeez. Russell Higgins has joined us in chat, by the way. Good to see you, Russell. I'll grab a quick sip here. It's cooled off here in the Chicago area. It was a very nice day. It was in the low 70s, but now it's cooled off quite a bit, and we had rain. It's humid, and it's just another one of those kind of yucky kind of evenings down here in the duct tape studios. All right. So a Grade A says, and there's also a 95-page resource for it that they are using. That's what I always have to laugh. And I'll finish up my last news piece, and then we can kind of chat a little bit about this, a little bit about RPG stuff. But I get a kick out of not only do you have, well, let's take for an example. We've got Rime of the Frost Maiden, right? Jam-packed book. I like it. I thought it was decent. I mean, I don't think it's the greatest adventure that's ever been done for 5th edition, but I liked it. I think it's pretty good. I think it'd be interesting to run with some tweaks that I would personally perform. But then I get a kick out of, you'll see, like over on DM's Guild, all these different like Rime of the Frost Maiden accessories. It's like to help you run it. It's like, geez. So I already got like 300 pages here. And now I got another 100 pages of like tips and tricks. It's like, wow. So, but I am also of the firm belief that you should take, because once again, we only really normally see a new 5th edition D&D adventure from Wizards of the Coast, I should add, about every 6 months on average. So I personally believe in, really diving into that whole campaign and really getting the most out of it. Just like I've got my review for Devil at the Dreaming Palace for Pathfinder 2nd edition. And I actually kind of talk about kind of expanding this out. And I will talk about what the whole premise of this first chapter is, that I think really does need a bit more fleshing out to really kind of bring it to life. All right. So Corey J has popped in and asking if there's any new giveaways going on. Not for you, Corey. Sorry. There is one, but I'm going to finish up the news and I will talk about that once again. All right. So my final news piece, there is a new supplement for the cyberpunk role-playing game Neon City Overdrive, and it is from Peril Planet Game Studio. Here's the dope on The Grid. The Grid, the endless runway of neon-lit data that hackers, code slingers, and AI call home. It has invaded every part of modern life and made itself an unavoidable specter that watches, listens, and controls the lives of the careless and unwary. In this supplement for Neon City Overdrive, The Grid is explored and explained, providing you with the tools to take your games off the street and into the digitized wonderland of the sprawling data network. This book includes Jacking In. Mine's out of the gutter, folks. How the grid is used, including descriptions of the key infrastructure and technologies such as the holographic overlay, data hubs, private networks, and interface gear. Exploring the grid, getting around the grid, descriptions of key locations, and dozens of story hooks. Run the digital streets, hang out in Underwire, marvel at the mysterious beam, or ride the information superhighway that is the ribbon. There's new hazards and threats, dangerous locations, enemies, and programs are presented to threaten code slingers. Zing, zing. Code slingers. Zing, zing. And spice up grid runs. Watch out for data storms and obolites. Defy grid cops and gate guardians and avoid the dreaded black ice. Playing the grid. Advice on using the grid in your games. New grid-specific conditions and traumas. And further guidance on the process of piggybacking grid observers. Trademarks and gear. 25 new trademarks, advice on playing in artificial intelligence, and examples to help you present grid technology and programs as special gear. The Grid continues to expand the world of Neon City Overdrive with new character options enemies, and story hooks. Use the information as presented or use the advice provided to adjust the setting details to fit your own vision of how cyberpunks interface with a virtual world. This 60-page PDF is on sale right now over at DriveThruRPG for $4.99, as opposed to normally $6. So once again, wish I had some more images to share as opposed to just the cover. But I have actually heard some good vibe coming out about Neon City Overdrive if you are a big fan of cyberpunk role-playing games. I hear it's pretty interesting. I want to say there's core rules, and I think there's 3 additional supplements for this. So, of course, I was just talking about DriveThruRPG, and of course, the Daily Dope, and obviously enough, the Gaming Gang are affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to swing over to, say, DriveThruRPG, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you do happen to make a purchase, I get a little portion of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters do add up and really do help keep the Gaming Gang website around. Gotta say, thank you to everybody out there who does utilize those banner ads before they go over to, say, DriveThruRPG or DM's Guild or anything like that, because it really, really does help keep the website around. No joke. So Corey J says, my bad, just excited. Sure, you should be excited. Now, where do I have it? Oh, it's over here. I've got other stuff stacked up on top of it. All right, so that is it for the news. So I had mentioned the latest giveaway. The new giveaway is for a brand new copy of Mariposas, which is from AEG. I already did my review of this. Really, really enjoyed it. This is a nice, relaxing, pleasant game. It's, you know, granted, you're competing with the other players, but there's no take that. You're really not interfering with the way they play at all, which, of course, I like take that in my games, but I really did enjoy this. So I've got this copy to give away. Pretty easy to score yourself a copy. So all you basically have to do is be a subscriber to the channel, give a thumbs up to the video, and leave a comment on any of the Gaming Gang, I shouldn't say Gaming Gang, the Daily Dope videos from, it was from our last show, which was back on, gosh, I forget, episode 552 through this Thursday. So, I mean, you can leave a comment, you can subscribe, you can thumb up anytime before Monday at noon. So a week from today. And every comment you leave on each video is going to count as one entry. So September 29th was the last one. Yes, we already did the giveaway for the alternate art edition of Rime of the Frost Maiden. That was, that's all. Yeah, we already did the giveaway for that. Now it's not on the show. It was Ace Turley was our winner. So anyway, do want to mention for the Mariposa contest, if you live in the U.S., I will pay for the shipping. If you live outside the U.S. and you want to take part, you would have to pay for the shipping. Sorry about that. You know, we work on a budget here that makes the makes a shoestring look like a cable holding up the Golden Gate Bridge. That's how I kind of present it sometimes. All right, so that is it for the news. That is it for our new giveaway, which I did announce on the last show anyway. So anyway, I got a lot of stuff coming up. Because it's October, I'm trying to focus more sort of on horror kind of games. Just you know, because I know people are like, you know, it's Halloween's coming up. I don't use the term spooky season Because to me, that's stupid. It's Halloween season. But every time you turn around, somebody's like, oh, it's the spooky season. It's like, no, it's fall. And Halloween is coming. Suddenly we can't use the term Halloween? Happy Halloween. Oh, damn you. It's like Christmas. I hate when people wish me a Merry Christmas. Anyway, so I've got some spooky stuff. Scatty, kids, scatty. On the horizon. So yes, I've got my, where is it? Right over here. I will have a review of Vossen. I got to double check the pronunciation on this. So that is, hopefully I will have this done by this week. Another game from Free League Publishing, which I also need to understand the pronunciation of it, because I know it is not Morkborg. It is kind of like a Morkborg. So Grade A says must be a Chicago thing for spooky season. No, I think it's an American thing. And I think it's like a news, I think it's like news station thing too. Cause it's all like, in fact, I just saw it last week tonight with John Oliver. They did a thing where it was all these news anchors like spooky season. It's the spooky season. It was like slap. So this review, this should be up tomorrow if I get the graphics done. So I will have that up tomorrow. I also have Lover in the Ice for Delta Green. So I've got that. So I got a lot of good stuff. I got Furnace. I don't know if I showed this off or not. It may have arrived after. Like I said, I got a bunch of stuff stacked up here. So it may have arrived after the last show before I went on to my fall break. But I received Furnace from Hobby World, which is out of Russia. And I did a news piece about this, and they saw it, and they were like, well, are you interested in checking it out? I was like, sure. So they sent this along, and it came from Moscow. And in fact, it even came with some, like 3 pieces of Russian candy. I was like, okay, thanks. So I got loads and loads of goodies, to share for review. I've got some reviews from Sammy as well. So They Came from the Sea is one of the reviews. I will have that up in the next day or so. So look forward to that. I haven't read the review yet. I just got it from her. So that'd be cool. Other than that, just stay tuned. We got a lot cooking. Got a bunch of goodies coming your way. Some more war game reviews as well. So definitely check out Napoleon Returns, 1815. It's pretty interesting, pretty good. So a Grade A is talking about never ran into Spooky other than DJ Spooky. Yeah, Spooky must just be an American thing. So Murderous Ghosts is pretty good. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, I'm going to take a guess. It's as Jeff says, for the spooky season. Now, I do not like to say that. That'll be the last time you hear me say that. All right. Anyway, that is it for tonight's show. Good to be back. So, I was kind of kicking it. It was nice to get a break. So, I mean, some people don't realize doing 4 live shows a week, plus trying to crank out, like reviews and stuff like that. And it's, it's essentially me. I'm the production team. So it can, kind of starts to get to you. Anyway, so Grade A says it's for Apocalypse Engine. You mean Apocalypse World? I don't know. Or maybe the game's called Apocalypse Engine. I'm not sure. So Flaming Aaron says, unless someone says spooky season in chat. That's it. Wait a second. I can't tell Flaming Heron to use the band hammer on himself. Oh, yeah. So, okay, Vincent Baker. Yeah. Cool deal. All right. So that's it for tonight's show. Of course, if you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Of course, ring that notification bell. So not only will you know when the Daily Dope streams live Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube, I'll also tell you when I upload other videos, such as my upcoming review of Mirk Mirk. Like I said, I still got to find out how to pronounce that. I think somebody had told me it's like Mjörkberg, something like that, which to me, it's almost like, oh, it's a Swedish chef from the Muppets. Actually, it's pretty cool. I do like it. Okay, here's a little preview, right? So I think the game itself is pretty cool. I hate the presentation. I am shocked that so many people are like, oh man, the presentation is awesome. Not if you want to actually be able to utilize the stuff in the book. So Great Day says, Free League, has said English speakers can't pronounce it correctly. Fine. All right. Anyway. As I was saying, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. All right, everybody, thank you for joining me tonight live in chat. I know there's some folks who kind of float around, kind of lurk, which is fine. That's cool. I appreciate that. So if you hung out in chat to keep me company, always appreciated. And of course, if you watch after the fact, maybe even watch on Memorex, I appreciate that as well. So I will see you tomorrow. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Monday night / Tuesday morning. And of course, as I pretty much chime out on all my videos during this pandemic that seems like it'll never end, I'm hoping you're being smart and staying safe. See you tomorrow. Oh, you're still here. Well, once again, thank you very much for watching this video. And of course, if you'd like to subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel, click right here. And of course, if you want to see one of the latest episodes of the Daily Dope, click right on up here. And if you want to roll the dice, take your chances, see what YouTube thinks you might like from the channel, give a click right here. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and I'll see you next time.